Ethan, well bowled. Another
Thanks.
economical effort, digging in hard. It wasn't as easy going. There wasn't as much assistance perhaps that first morning, but obviously you'll be mightily pleased with your economy and indeed the wicket of the Centurion, Dave Villas.
Yeah, I think for the majority of the time, on a personal note, the ball came out all right. But I expect myself leading that attack to take early inroads, and I wasn't able to do that. So, whilst there's some good bits, I felt pretty decent and bowled some nice balls. Ultimately, it's judged on how you impact the game, and I didn't do that to the extent I'd like. So that's frustrating on a personal note, but more important, obviously, is where we find ourselves as a unit and a bowling unit. And I think reflecting, we'd have liked to be more impactful through the game. Maybe people from the outside might say we didn't have the most favourable conditions, but we're professional cricketers. You've got to find a way, and we'll definitely be reflecting on how we could have done that better.
Sam Robson talked about the overheads, hoping the sun would have come out a little bit earlier on that first morning. What was the big difference between those heavy overheads and not for the start of the Lancashire innings?
Well, firstly, I think it's important to acknowledge that they bowled incredibly well. Any time that you are on 20 after 20 overs, they're doing something right. So full credit to them and the way they went about it. But I think also, it was humid, the ball seemed to swing, and that's always handy as well as a bowler. So yeah, they bowled really nicely, and there was a bit there. But Robbo, phenomenal effort, obviously, and I'm sure you've spoken to him. Phenomenal application, and certainly that will be the mindset and the template moving forward in this game.
Middlesex haven't done much. There's a day you sit there and you kind of look at it and think, I could have bowled it a bit fuller, a bit straighter. Middlesex haven't done much wrong, but it just wasn't, the reward wasn't there.
Yeah, I think you're right. You always need to reflect, and the first place you have to look is within yourself to see whether you could have taken different options and things. They played very well. Luke Wells and Dane Villas both, especially, and George at the end there. But of course, you always expect more of yourself. We set ourselves high standards, and throughout the season there's been periods, and in this game there's been periods when we reflect and wish we could have been more potent and maybe done some things differently, of course.
And obviously you talked about your economy, that was outstanding. I remember last time I looked, I can't remember what the final figures were, but it was 9 runs from 9 overs. It's another incredible spell of bowling, of keeping it tight, which is what Middlesex have to do in the morning just to make sure Lancashire don't get too far ahead, because at some point, or too far ahead too quickly, because at some point, of course, Lancashire will be coming for the win in this game, and it's about saving the draw and getting those 5 points now for Middlesex.
Cheers. Well, yeah, on the bowling thing, cheers. Yeah, it suits my personality, trying to be nice and dry and not offer much, so that's good. But there was a few too many loose ones in there, definitely. And looking forward, it'll be interesting to see what they do, whether they put out overnight, whether they have a little whack in the morning. Yeah, if Lancs are listening, have a whack so we can get another bonus point. Cheers.
But batting long and hard, Robson did it. Davis did it for an hour, didn't he? And there have obviously been many batters over the season that have done it, putting it together as a unit and picking up those 5 points. Really crucial now going into tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, in the dressing room we have phenomenal talent, application, concentration, and also that competitive spirit and the will to get through this game and give ourselves the best chance. Everyone down there knows where they want to be playing their cricket next season. It's no secret where we are in the table, and we play our best cricket when it's clear what we have to go and do, and it's going to be laid out for us tomorrow. So I'm looking forward to seeing the boys get out there and do what they can.
Good luck tomorrow. Thanks for the time.
Thanks, Kev.